Today we're going to be talking about things we hate about living in the Triangle, so stick around.
The first thing that we hate about living in the Triangle is how spread out it is. So one of the positive things we talk about is, like, you know, you can live in Raleigh and take advantage of what's in Durham, or you can live in Chapel Hill and take advantage of what's in Raleigh. And all that is true, but sometimes I just get tired of how spread out the Triangle is, driving from place to place. Maybe there's a certain grocery store I want to go to and it's all the way on the other side of town, or maybe it's in a completely different city. And it just, the Triangle is, what I tell people, especially people who move here from like densely populated areas, the Triangle is not going to feel the same. Everything is spread out. You're not going to be able to wake up and walk to your favorite coffee shop. Most likely. That does exist, but it's really rare.
Seldom.
It's just not a common thing. More than likely, you're going to have to get in your car and you're going to have to drive to your favorite coffee shop. And so it just, it's one of the things, you know, just it's very spread out.
Yeah, it is spread out. And so when we talk about the Triangle, you know, it has these main 3 points of Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill, but you have all of these suburbs outside of like Raleigh that continue to make up the Triangle. And as the area kind of expands, more and more of those areas get more and more populated. So we're going to count them in as being the Triangle, like a place like Clayton.
Yeah.
So Clayton is probably the furthest edge of the Triangle. And if we went from, that'll be like the furthest south, and then like the furthest north, it's just probably gonna be like Hillsboro, furthest west north. And to get from one of those to the other is like, it's an hour without traffic. So
without traffic,
if you're leaving,
you hit it at rush hour, hour and a half.
Yeah, exactly. So it is kind of a bit of a drive. I mean, we do know that obviously if you live in densely populated areas, it could take you an hour to go like 5 miles. So I guess we can't complain because we're talking a lot of mileage
That's
here.
true. That's true.
But it is still within the big realm of things. So the reason it kind of sucks is if you did live on one of the further ends of it, you know, most of your big things are typically going to be in Raleigh. So if you don't live right in Raleigh, you always have to kind of, feels like you're always driving to get to those things sometimes.
Yeah. The second thing we hate about living in the Triangle is the school system is so confusing. So you have charter schools, you have magnet schools, you have districted schools, you have cap schools, year-round schools, traditional schools, private schools. I mean, it's just, the list goes on and on and on. The school system in the Triangle, especially Wake County, is incredibly confusing. And it's just, you know, when we have Zoom calls with folks who reach out to us and they're interested in the area, I mean, I feel like sometimes half the Zoom call is spent on trying to give a better understanding of what these terms mean and what is going on with the school system. It's just very confusing.
It is really confusing, and I think that makes it really hard as a parent because obviously when you move into an area,
it's a priority.
It's your top priority is going to be, you know, a place that's safe for your kids and schools that you feel like are safe and good fits for you. And so it can be really confusing. On the flip side of that, it's nice to have so many options. Yeah. But depending on what place you move into, it feels like all of a sudden the options are shrinking because maybe the option you wanted is a lottery and you're not guaranteed a slot, or maybe it's private and you can't afford it, or maybe it's in a district that you can't get into, or you move into that school's district and then the school is capped and you still can't go there. So it's really complicated, which I really hate because I feel like I grew up in the area and it wasn't like this at all. It was just like you just went to the districted school, that was it. And now it's like, who knows? You know, everybody in the neighborhood, I feel like goes to like 20 different schools. So it's really
it's
weird.
like the cereal aisle. You have like 100 choices of cereal.
Yes.
And it just complicates everything.
Yeah, it's just very complex. But we do partner up with a school consulting company in the area, and we'd love to get you in touch with them if you're moving to the area to make it easier for you. Yeah. You know, once you really dig into it, it does get a little less confusing. But from the outside looking in, it is really complicated.
Yeah, it is.
And one more point to mention about the school system, we do have a whole video on all of those things that we just talked about, kind of breaking it down to hopefully simplify it a little bit for you. So be sure to check that out if that is a concern.
The third thing that we hate about living in the Triangle, this is specific to a specific area because this is where Cindy has grown up, which is Durham. But Durham consistently doesn't get the nice things that Raleigh and Chapel Hill gets.
I don't know why we can't get nice things.
So like when we were thinking about it, when we were making this video, like Durham doesn't have like a Wegmans, for example. You have to go to Chapel Hill for a Wegmans. We don't have a Trader Joe's. We have one Target for the entire
two Targets.
excuse me, 2 Targets for the entire city of Durham. We have 1 Walmart, right?
No, there's 2.
2 Walmart. But still, I mean, we're a city
Zach
of...
doesn't shop much, can you tell?
Apparently.
I do all the shopping.
But I mean, we're a city of like 250,000 people. And we have like, it doesn't like, Durham just consistently doesn't get the nice things that like a Raleigh or a Cary gets. And I don't know, we should.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That really bothers me.
Yeah, it is annoying for sure. I mean, there are really great like local things in Durham that I think Durham does better at. Like downtown has so many great local restaurants and breweries and coffee shops. But then when you're just going to do like your everyday suburb life type thing, like let's be honest, we can't do all of our shopping at the corner market downtown.
Yeah.
Like we gotta find a store that's got some goldfish for all these toddlers, right? So we need more places like that. And so in Durham, I just feel like we don't get as much. And the word on the street, I don't know why it is. I don't know. Word on the street kind of could be maybe like the permitting process is more difficult in Durham, so it kind of drives some developers away. I'm not sure. We don't have as many new developments, like housing developments either in the area, which is kind of a bummer compared to other areas. They're getting these large like resort type amenity housing options that we just don't really have here. So I wish maybe we'll see more of that in the future, but right now it's a little bit less on the new development side. Yeah.
Number 4 on the list is the lack of what we're going to call just large entertainment facilities or venues. So what I mean by that, go to Charlotte. Charlotte has the Panthers, which I'm a Panthers fan. They're nothing to watch, so I shouldn't complain about it because all they do is make me angry. They have the Hornets. They have Carowinds, which is a theme park that's owned by the group that owns the Cedar Point in, is that Ohio?
I think so.
Yeah, but anyway, like they have all this stuff in Charlotte. But you come here and we have the Hurricanes, which is cool.
Right.
But that's really it. There's just not a lot of like big entertainment venues. I mean, we can drive to those in Charlotte. It's 3 hours away. Busch Gardens, which we prefer over Carowinds anyway, is in Virginia, Williamsburg, Virginia. It's 3 hours away. So, the drive to get to those places is short, but there's for an area with the population size that the Triangle has, there's just not a lot of like bigger entertainment venues here.
Yeah, you would just think there's more. I mean, there are venues like for concerts and stuff like that, and like PNC Arena. So we do get like big name concerts and stuff in the area, but there's not like a consistently like a team like Zach mentioned that would like draw people from other parts of the state in.
I'd like to have an NFL team here, somebody who I can pull for other than the Panthers.
Other than the poor Panthers. The poor Panthers.
But anyway, I think as the city grows or as this area grows, I think obviously those things will, I don't know about an NFL. I don't know if North Carolina can support 2 NFL teams, but I think just in general, larger entertainment venues will be a part of the Triangle's future. It just might be a long time down the road. The last one on the list, and I'll be honest, Cindy and I disagreed about this one. This was her choice to include it, but the presence of never-ending highway construction is the last thing on the list of what we hate about the Triangle. I don't mind it as much because I would rather there be highway construction than 15 years from now, we'd be like, wow, why weren't we dealing with the highways when we could have? But it is, there are stretches of highways, especially on Interstate 40, that are just awful.
It's just bad, yeah. I agree with Zach. We want these things to get better, right? So obviously construction is just part of making things better, and we have to live with it. But it just feels like the same patch on Highway 40 going east has been under construction for like my entire life. I'm like, how is this little section not done yet? It's like the same section. If you're from Raleigh, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. You're kind of like almost leaving Wake County, trying to get to the beach in Wilmington. You're like, why? Like once you pass Wade Avenue, it's just this one patch that's just like, it's never ending. I don't know why. And for some reason they never fix the paint on between the lanes. And so I'm like, I don't know what lane I'm in. I really don't. And if it's raining and dark, I'm like an old lady. I'm like, I can't drive on this. I can't see. So yeah, that does really bother me. And we have this new 540 loop that, oh my gosh, we talked about it forever, and they're finally making some ground on it. I feel like, which is great, but it's always kind of an eyesore just to be looking at construction all the time. So hopefully these projects get done soon. But as we all know, the moment one gets done, the next one's just like right around the corner to get started. So I guess I just wish it was a little faster moving, or I saw more progress. But you know, construction looks like construction. So I suppose there is progress. It just always looks the same.
Yeah.
To me, but no fun. But it's good. It's good.
Those are the top things that we hate about living in the Triangle. You know, most of our videos have a very positive vibe to it, but it's just nice sometimes to try to give folks some things that maybe, because I mean, this area doesn't work for everybody, and that's okay. Like it's better to know that before you get here than to figure that out once you get here. But anyway, we have videos on the channel about all these different areas, so feel free to check those out. If you have not subscribed, we'd love for you to hit that subscribe button in the corner. Our contact information is below: phone number, email address. If you have questions about real estate, questions about the area, we'd love to chat with you, so feel free to reach out. You can also find us on social media. Yep,
you can find us on social media. If you head over to Instagram, you can find us at the Honeycut Realtors. We'd love to have you there, or you can check out our website, honeycutrealtors.com. We look forward to connecting with you.
Yep, see you next time. It's so cold, my eyes are watering. Sun is right in my eyes. I can't see. Action.
Karate chop.
Yeah.